just want to bring you an update on, oh gosh, this lighting is so bad. Just wanted to bring you an update on the Fani Willis case. Um, Judge McAfee has dismissed 6 counts. Now we're still waiting. He said he was going to take 2 weeks to deliberate on the charges that are brought to Fani Willis and Nathan Wade concerning the allegations of her hiring him and being in an inappropriate relationship with him before November 1st of 2021, and hiring him and putting him in a position and paying him exorbitant amount of money to do the case. And they built this big list of indictees, and you'll see it in this video. Well, the judge said that he was going to deliberate for 2 weeks and come back with his decision on the Ashley Merchant and the other attorneys bringing to him these this filing against DA Fani Willis and all of this hoopla. He said he's going to take 2 weeks to come back with his answer. Well, during this 2 weeks of this wait, he has decided to drop 6 counts off of the indictment that DA Fani Willis and the prosecutor brought to Trump and his team of people that are indicted along with him. Now, surprisingly enough, and I'm sorry for this lighting, but the news is more important. Surprisingly enough, he went on a radio interview and said he has to face his children. And years from now, he wants his children to look and see what he did that was fair. Now, is he building up to his answer in 2 weeks? And I have predicted that Fani Willis will be taken off of this case. I predicted that Nathan Wade will be kept on the case. I predicted that she will also lose her license, whether temporarily or for good. I don't know, but temporarily means that she could lose her license and she can appeal the case and maybe get her license back. But I do know that there's going to be some fallout and she's going to have to answer behind this, and they're going to have some scapegoat. The powers that be are going to have a fall guy, and she's going to have to be it. And she put herself in this position. This is my prediction. So when he comes back with his answer in 2 weeks, I think he's building up for that answer and dropping these counts, showing some kind of effort, and going on a radio interview of all things. And gosh, there, I got it now. Going on a radio interview and stating that he's got to have something, a legacy that his children can be proud of that comes from him. Remember, he worked under Fani Willis, and remember that he has not been on this job long. And remember, this is an election coming up. His time is almost done, and he wants to save face in the light of the public and into his Democratic parties that have been supportive behind him. And he has to show a balance as a judge. He has to show forth something. And so he's going to have to make some very hard decisions. And I think some of this is just a buildup to protect what decision he makes. He does have an opposing person that's a Republican running against him for his seat. He wants to keep that seat. So he's showing some kind of face value towards the administration of the Republicans by dropping these 6 counts. So there's a lot of political stuff going on. So let me go ahead and get you into this. Oh my gosh. Ready? I'm ready. Let's go. This is from, let's see, what's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Let me find his name. Again, I'm in my den, and this is coming live. Actually, this was from 4 hours ago, I believe. And all right, guys, here we go. Some breaking news for the Fani Willis, Nathan Wade, Donald Trump case that's coming out of Fulton County, Georgia today. Now, we're talking about the Georgia election interference case against former President Donald Trump, and a plot twist. Sorry. It's pretty much got everybody from your next door neighbor to the power players in Washington, D.C. talking about this thing. Whole lot of charges
against Donald Trump have just been dropped in Georgia. That's right, guys. A lot of charges against Donald Trump have just been dropped. And, the case has pretty much had us all glued to our screens, to our TVs, wondering what's going to happen next in this whole saga of the election intrigue. Basically, it just took a major turn. So, Fani Willis, the question is, will Fani Willis be disqualified? We're going to talk about a lot today, and we're going to go ahead and start off with Judge Scott McAfee. He decided that the Find the Votes case, it needed a little bit of a trim. We're talking about 6 counts against former President Donald Trump and his entourage. Poof, just gone. Got rid of those charges. And this is the kind of win that, for Trump, that has his supporters throwing victory parties, and it's got a lot of his critics just kind of scratching their heads like, what's going to.
Okay, sorry. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back at it in 1 second. There we go.
All year, and this is yet another big win. But wait, there's more. There's a lot more courtroom drama that has actually unfolded today. Fani Willis, the prosecutor who's been as determined as like a detective in a crime novel, and Nathan Wade, they are the central characters in this particular legal soap opera. I got a lot more I want to share with you guys. All I ask is that you take 1 second, drop a quick like for the video. I totally appreciate you guys. And I want to thank you so much for sharing this video on
Ron
Facebook
Yates.
and on
Go
Twitter.
subscribe to his
Now,
channel.
Number one, let's talk about the dismissal of the 6 counts against former President Donald Trump. So basically, what we've got Judge Scott McAfee. He dismissed 6 counts in the case against Donald Trump and his 18 co-defendants. Now, a lot of people are wondering why. Why did he get rid of all of these charges? Well, kind of boiled down to a matter of details, or I should say probably the lack thereof, right? So the judge pointed out that while the state accused these individuals of soliciting public officers to violate their oaths, it didn't actually provide enough specifics about how they allegedly pulled this off. So imagine being told how you broke a rule, but not which rule that you broke or even how you broke the rule, right? So that's kind of like the crux of the judge's decision. And so this move kind of underscores the legal principle that accusations must be very clear. They have to be detailed enough for the accused to be able to defend themselves. And, it's kind of a reminder of the fundamental rights which are at play, even in cases regarding high-profile figures such as Donald Trump, okay? Another thing is the importance of the legal specificity. So the Judge Scott McAfee's reasoning shines a light on a very crucial aspect of our legal system, which is the need for precision in the charges. So in layman's terms, if you're going to accuse somebody for doing something wrong, then you need to spell out exactly what they did wrong, right? The judge found the indictment against Donald Trump and his co-defendants wanting, it was lacking. So basically, this case underscores the balancing act in the whole legal system between accusing somebody of a crime and making sure they actually have a fair chance to defend themselves. So this decision has much bigger implications, and it just kind of illustrates the challenges in crafting legal charges that are both comprehensive and also specific. Now, when we talk about the allegations of the election interference, right? At the heart of the whole legal drama is the allegation that Trump and his associates attempted to persuade Georgia officials to overturn the 2020 presidential elections, the whole find me the votes kind of thing that they were talking about. So this isn't just the story about legal technicalities. It's really about kind of like the bedrock of American democracy, right? Like free and fair elections. The charges suggest an attempt to manipulate, right? Now, let's not forget about adding to the case are these allegations against Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis involving a personal relationship with Special Counsel Nathan Wade. Now, these claims of a potential conflict of interest, they're introducing a whole new storyline, and it basically it's got a whole subplot here that just kind of highlights the personal and the professional entanglements that is adding a lot of complexity to the legal proceedings and whether or not Fani Willis will be disqualified from the case. But ultimately, the case against Donald Trump and his co-defendants is more than a legal battle. Basically, it's potentially election interference in and of itself, if you look at it. Um, but yeah, so big, huge update regarding Donald Trump today. This is breaking news, guys. Breaking news. And quote, as it is written, 6 counts contain all of the essential elements of the crime, but they fail to allege sufficient detail regarding the nature of their commission, the underlying felony solicited. So it kind of looks like Fani Willis and Nathan Wade really dropped the ball when they were trying to come after Donald Trump on this one. And Judge Scott McAfee just straight up called them out on this. Quote, they did not give the defendants enough information to prepare their defenses intelligently, and the defendants could have, as the defendants could have violated the constitutions and thus the statute in dozens, if not hundreds, of distinct ways. But here's the thing, because the prosecutors, the prosecuting attorneys, Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, they didn't properly describe the instances in which the law was broken. It's not the judge's job to identify these things. He is supposed to be reviewing the data presented by the prosecuting attorneys and by the defense counsel.
So if they brought
and
these
ultimately
charges,
making a determination based on that. But basically, it looks like since Fani Willis,
if they brought these charges and didn't describe how they found these charges, and they were just throwing charges up there, so that means Nathan Wade did not do a very good job as a prosecutor. And this, if you look over Fani Willis's records, you might find these discrepancies in all of the 95% convictions that she had that they brag about her conviction rate. Who were the people that she convicted? A whole bunch of Black people that took a lot of plea deals. All of that stuff needs to be examined when looking at Fani Willis's record now.
and Nathan Wade kind of dropped the ball on that. Trump's getting multiple charges dropped. In fact, Georgia state law prohibits any public officer from willfully and intentionally violating the terms of his or her oath as prescribed by law. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis alleged that Trump and 6 of his co-defendants illegally attempted to persuade numerous state officials to violate their oaths in an effort to overturn the 2020 presidential elections. But again, they lack to present a solid case. According to Judge McAfee, quote, in other words, a naked charge of solicitation cannot survive unless accompanied by additional elements establishing the solicited felony. Willis did not immediately respond for comment, and I can't imagine why. I mean, I can actually imagine why she wouldn't be immediately able to respond to a comment. She's probably in shock, just kind of completely blown away. Wait, you're dropping
being
all
caught.
these charges for against Donald Trump? 6 charges.
Not of dropping the charges of being caught,
to ultimately
bringing charges.
So now Donald Trump's attorney Steve Sadow said
fabricated.
The court made the correct decision to grant the special demurs and squash the important counts of the indictment brought by DA Fani Willis. The ruling is a correct application of the law, as the prosecution failed to make specific allegations of any alleged wrongdoing on these counts. So there is a lot more to this story, and it is literally unfolding by the minute. So I'm gonna keep you guys posted on these updates as they come out. This is just wild, guys. Drop me some comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking. If you haven't already, do.
Okay, so wow, there's a lot that doesn't meet the eye when it comes to these allegations. It just makes me start brainstorming and thinking just how many of the charges that were brought to Young Thug and his co-defendants that were just thrown out there. They've got at least 317 approximate witnesses that they're bringing. They've got Miss Love, who is the prosecuting attorney that is bringing the case, always objecting, and taught the people that were on her team to object, object, object until they didn't know what to say. They had no foundations for their objections, and they were just doing it because she was using that and doing that to distract the judge and distract from the trial. But I think that the judge picked up on it, stopped all those objections, said lay some foundations, and wasn't easily swayed. It was just a distraction, and she used that as a tactic. I noticed that in the Young Thug hearing, but not getting away from the Fani Willis case that is before us. There is a whole lot of stuff going on. And so we're going to stay on top of this, get to the bottom of it. And Judge McAfee apparently, his 2 weeks are almost up where he's going to make a decision on the charges that were brought to Fani Willis about her office and her office not involving other people before she decided to hire a special prosecutor, how she did not use those within her office, which she has that right, but she was supposed to transparently show or get to an answer from someone before she hired a special prosecutor. She bypassed that as a DA, and she did it on her own. And a lot of stuff she did not think about the consequences. God is a fair God. He's so fair that he did not allow this to go on from the time where it was exposed. It was exposed for a reason, because she was misusing the justice system. And God is definitely in the justice system. I tell you, the Bible says that the powers that be are ordained of God. And whosoever resists the power resists the ordinance of God. God is the power, and he sets a judge up and sets one down. He puts people up and puts them down. So those powers that be in the legal system are ordained of God. Even the police powers are ordained of God. There are so many powers that are ordained, and God is not having it. When you have police brutality, it's going to get uncovered eventually. When you have judges doing wicked or DAs abusing their powers, it's going to get uncovered. Where is this 95% conviction rate coming? Give me a thumbs up if you want to know where her 95% conviction rate is coming from. Give me a subscription. Give me something if you are getting some things uncovered that you had not had to research on your own, and you're getting some questions answered about our legal system and what's going on with the Fani Willis, the Trump, the Nathan Wade case, Ashley Merchant, all of them. All of them. There's something going on with all of them. So give me a thumbs up if you want to know. Hey, where did she get that 95% conviction rate? Was it by putting away a lot of blacks, making her record look good? I already gave you a video, and you have to go back and check it out. Her first RICO was against teachers in Atlanta, in Georgia, in Fulton County, that allegedly played minor roles in increasing some scores and passing the children on to the next grade. She allowed a Caucasian judge to make the decision. After she did the prosecution, she gave all of them, if not all of them, most of them, $5,000 in restitution. She gave them probably community service. I think some of them are facing or serving a year, up to a year to 7 years, having to do three. It was preposterous, and all of them were first offenders that did not want to plead guilty and took it to trial, and then found that they were not going to win this case. They brought the case before a judge instead of a jury of their peers. Go back and look at that video. It's in here. I'll try to put the name of it in my description. I'll have to do some editing first. But I want to tell you, it's been great talking to you guys tonight. 3 videos in a row from Graceful Exposure. And peace out. We're going to take it from